Hello, it's Wednesday the 3rd of February and welcome to our writing lesson for today. Today's the day you get to write the third and final paragraph in your Diagon Alley story. The best one really, because it's about you going into Ollivander's wand shop and choosing your wand or having it choose you. So in Nasty Writing today, I thought it would be quite nice to do something we sometimes do in school where we actually give you some really good, powerful, strong vocabulary that you could use in your writing. And this is on the Nasty Writing task sheet for today. Underneath each word, I've also written what these words mean. So I got these definitions from a dictionary. So even if you don't have a dictionary at home, as in a book, you can Google really easily. You just I put in mystical definition, and then you get up like a really useful definition, an online dictionary. So it's a really good way of checking spelling, checking meaning of words, and also sometimes finding synonyms, finding good words that have a similar meaning. You can use an online dictionary or an online thesaurus for that. So look at these words, and I would say try to write 3 to 4 sentences today that use some of these words in them. You don't have to use them all. Maybe these sentences could help you with your writing about Ollivander's wand shop today. So I'm just going to give you one example that I thought of. Hang on, I've got so many notes here, I've lost my place. Oh, there you go. I thought I was going to imagine me walking into the wand shop, a bit like Harry did in the film. The door slams shut and suddenly I'm in this hushed silence inside the wand shop, which is very different to the atmosphere out on Diagon Alley. So I am going to imagine the shop door banging shut behind me. So sometimes, we talked about this, sometimes you start a sentence with a fronted adverbial to make it different to the previous sentence. Sometimes I think just starting a sentence with an expanded noun phrase is really effective and really powerful. So I'm just going to have quite a short sentence saying that the shop door banged shut behind me. But I'm going to describe the shop door as ancient, I think, because that means very, very old, from the distant past. And I can imagine Ollivander's having this huge ancient wooden door. So the ancient shop door, and I'm not going to say the ancient wooden huge shop door, because sometimes using 3 adjectives can be so effective, but the adjectives have to work well together, they have to sound right, and I think that sounds a bit over the top if I do that, so I'm going to keep it a bit simpler today. The ancient shop door banged shut. Whoopsie, what have I done there? Let's get rid of that, sorry about that. The ancient shop door banged shut behind me. Actually, I'm not going to have that as a sentence on its own. I'm going to use and to write another sentence and then join them together. The ancient shop door banged shut behind me, and what did I do? I stood and gazed like Harry did. I gazed, how could I gaze? I gazed in wonder at the, see if I can use another word from up here. Incredible means you can't believe what you can see. Enchanted, it's like the shop is under a spell, or bewitched. I don't think it would be eerie. Marvellous, oh that's what I want to say, because I gazed in wonder, and marvellous causes wonder. So I gazed in wonder at the marvellous, what did I have here? The marvellous. Hello, sorry, I don't know what happened there. During the Nasty Writing video, the iPad suddenly switched off. So I finished my sentence just saying, the marvellous shop in front of me. So have fun with the Nasty Writing today. Pause the video now if you'd like to have a go at that first. And then you're going to be moving on. Sorry, I'm just going to check the video. The iPad's not going to fall. You're going to be drafting the 3rd paragraph of your Diagon Alley narrative when you visit the wand shop. So feel free to have another look at the clip. I think I put it on the daily learning page for today, just to remind yourself of what happened to Harry when he visited the wand shop. But remember, you're not Harry Potter, you're you, as I've kept saying. And on your plan, you should have made some notes about what you want to happen during the 3rd paragraph. So some of the things that happened to Harry could happen to you, but you could also invent some other things that happened to you in the one shop. So I'm going to show you how I would start my story, my third paragraph. And I'm thinking back to my nasty writing, because I might be able to use some of that actually. So I walked in slowly. That's how I'm going to start. So I've got a short sentence. Remember I said sometimes a short sentence is quite a good way to hook the reader right at the beginning of the paragraph. So I walked in slowly. Okay, what I think I'm going to do now, before I rush on to tell the reader what happened in the one shop, I want to make sure the reader really knows what the one shop looked like, what it felt like. Was there any kind of smell? Could I hear anything? Just to create the atmosphere of the one shop and show how different it was to the Diagon Alley atmosphere outside. I also need to make sure in this paragraph that I try to include some speech. That's a real focus for today. You might have already included some speech in paragraphs 1 and 2. That's fine. It's great. But really, I want everybody to try and put some speech into this third paragraph. So, how am I going to describe the atmosphere inside the shop? I'm going to say it felt quite eerie, I think, which was one of my words in nasty writing, wasn't it? There was like an eerie feeling inside the shop, and it was very different to all the noise and everything that was out in Diagon Alley. So I'm just going to start by saying that. Let me move this little instruction out of the way for teachers. There was an eerie feeling inside the shop. Oh, that should be one word, sorry. Inside the shop. I walked in slowly. There was an eerie feeling inside the shop. I know, I can contrast it to the noise outside by using a relative clause, which was very different to what? To the noise, I suppose. The noise and the energy, really. The noise and the energy. So I'm just going to write down the first words that come into my head, but when I proofread my sentence later, maybe I'll change some of these words. Maybe I'll change noise to a different word, or maybe not. Maybe I think it sounds great. I walked in slowly. There was an eerie feeling inside the shop, which was very different to the noise and energy in the alley behind me. Okay. So then I'm going to describe how I felt inside the shop. So I stood there. I mean, it was in my nasty writing I said this. I gazed in wonder at everything around me. And I like one of those words from the nasty writing, enchanted. I stood as if enchanted. It's as if I'm under a spell. So that's a really nice description. I think it's really clear to the reader how I felt when I first walked in. I stood as if enchanted, gazing around me in wonder. So that's lifted from my nasty writing, really, but that's okay. Gazing, not me, gazing around me in wonder. If you make a mistake, just put a line through it and carry on. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a draft. I stood as if enchanted, gazing around me in wonder. Right, now I have started a lot of my sentences with, well, 2 of them start with I and 1 starts with there. So I'm going to use a fronted adverbial now to make the beginning of this sentence a bit different. All around, and actually really stretching up to the ceiling, wasn't it? And really high above me. All around, up above me. Actually, I like stretching to the ceiling. All around, stretching to the ceiling. Oh, I've got 2 fronted adverbials there, haven't I? I make readers thinking, what could you see? All around me, stretching to the ceiling, were, do you remember in the video, were shelves stacked with what were they stacked with? All the boxes full of wands, weren't they? With precious, that's another one of our nasty writing words, with precious looking boxes. And I'm going to say that they're covered in dust. I just thought of that as I was writing. So sometimes I prepare a few notes before this lesson, but sometimes as I'm writing, things come to me, and that's what happens. It might not be in your plan, but you might think, oh, I'm going to put that in. All around, stretching to the ceiling, were shelves stacked with precious-looking boxes covered in dust. I'm going to have some speech now, because I'm going to have the old shopkeeper hearing me come in and talking to me. So I'm telling the reader that there's a shopkeeper in there, but I don't know what he looks like yet. Who goes there? I need a question mark. Who goes there? Came an ancient voice. Oh, another one of my good words. Came an ancient voice from the shadows. So now the reader wants to know who does go there and who is that talking to you? Who is in the shadows? So this bit of speech is not just there because I know I've got to write speech. It actually does tell the reader something. It tells them there's somebody in the shadows who's waiting, who I'm waiting to see. Okay, I walked in slowly. There was an eerie feeling inside the shop, which was very different to the noise and energy in the alley behind me. I stood as if enchanted, gazing around me in wonder. All around, stretching to the ceiling, were shelves stacked with precious-looking boxes covered in dust. Who goes there? Came an ancient voice from the shadows. So I think I've done quite a lot of this. I've got my speech, I've definitely got some sense descriptions, I've definitely got some powerful descriptive adjectives, like enchanted and ancient and precious. I haven't got much figurative language yet, similes, metaphors, but I've definitely got some fronted adverbials, so I think I'm well on the way to getting started with this Year 6 writing. Okay, we are so looking forward to seeing your writing today. This piece of writing today is an assessed piece of writing, so we'd really like you to send in your writing today to your teacher. When we say assessed, hopefully you know this already, it doesn't mean it's a test. It means that once a week we would like to see a piece of your writing so we can give you some feedback on it. So it's maybe assessed isn't the best word we could use. Like, it just means when teachers assess your work, it doesn't always mean they're testing you. It means they're just marking your work or giving you some feedback. So that's what we mean by assess today. Please send in your final paragraph of your your Diagon Alley story, and your teachers would love to see it. And then Mrs. RW is going to make a video like she did last week to give you some feedback. Okay, have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.